Welcome to a Tuesday morning beginner workout. Dave, for those that don't know me, today we're going to be going through one of my favorites, Mobilize, Stretch, Activate. So as the name suggests, we're going to do an exercise where we move through a dynamic range of motion. We're going to hold a static stretch, and we're going to activate it with a strength exercise. So we'll start with our arm swing, so palms up, out to our side, and then as I cross down, or I cross my body, I turn my palms down, and I alternate which arm's on top. So same format as usual, 4 groups, 3 exercises in each group. We're going to do 3 rounds of each exercise, and an exercise consists of 30 seconds of work followed by 10 seconds of rest, so usually just enough time to move to the next exercise. All you need today is a chair and possibly a mat, but not necessary. All right, we're going to go into our shoulder rolls next. So I'm just elevating my shoulders up and back and down. And then forward. We don't even need to do too much of a warm-up here because the warm-up is built in to the workout. We're just going to go into our jumping jack. So with our jumping jack, you can either do it as a step, moving the arms overhead, or you can do the full jumping jack. Just get the heart up a little bit. We'll go into some high knees. So we're just going to go, start slow, alternate, opposite arm, opposite leg. And then if you want to pick it up, you certainly can. I'm just going to turn down my feet, get a little toasty in here. A little toasty for exercise. Anyways. Alright. Like I said, we don't need too much of a warm-up today because it is built in. So our first exercise group contains neck circles, neck stretch, and straight leg dips. So our neck circles, we're just actually going to go from ear to ear. I'm almost doing a half circle. Our neck stretch, we're going to hold each side. So I'm going left ear to left shoulder without elevating my shoulder, then left hand on my head. And then we're going to go up and down, and we're going to hold each of those for about 7 seconds to make up 30 seconds. And then straight leg dips. We have our chair, our legs are straight out. Elbows pointed behind you. I like to imagine I'm squeezing a beach ball behind my back with my elbows, and that allows me to use my triceps. Without further ado, we will get started with our neck circles in 3, 2, and 1. Just going shoulder to shoulder. And halfway through, we're going to do the other side. We're going to do the back half. So it might feel, and we'll go back. Side to side. Really exaggerate at the end the tilt of your head. Alright, we have 10 seconds. We'll start with right ear, right shoulder. Right hand on the head. 7 seconds. And why I only hold these for 7 seconds at a time, switch, is because the neck muscles are so tiny, yet so tight. And then we're going to go chin to the sky. This one's a little harder to tell me for time. And then we'll go chin tucked to the chest. Again, the shoulders aren't doing anything. It's all happening from the chin. All right, then 10 seconds of break. Enough time to get yourself in position for those straight leg dips. And we're working, legs straight out. Elbows pointed directly behind you, squeeze that beach ball. Not forgetting to breathe, as I see some people do. Sometimes I do it too. Not that I'm seeing you now, that'd be a little creepy from the one-way video. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. That's round 1. We'll see if I can remember every round this time. All right, and we're going to go into the next circles. We're going to do full circles this time. Exaggerating every position. We're going to alternate. So if I do one to the left, I can do one to the right. And if you have somebody that you're really trying to get going into exercise, you can try to get them to do something like this. All right, we're going into our next stretching test, where it's not as intensive. And I'm going to show you guys this side just so you can see sort of where my shoulder, where my posture is on all of this. 7 seconds. We'll switch. This is just so gentle. You don't, chin to the sky. You really don't force anything here. It's all very, very gentle, and I can't stress that enough. And then chin down. I should actually probably finish with the chin up stretch because we tend to be a little bit more head tilted down. All right, enough time to get into our straight leg dips. If you have trouble with these, you can always go from a higher position. You can always go with bent knees, right? I'm a little higher on the couch here. Same rules still apply, right? I'm not doing a huge range of motion here, but my elbows are still pointed directly behind me. I'm still squeezing that beach ball. I'm just a little bit higher up, so I don't need to go as far down. My legs are bent, so I have a little bit more stability in my legs. But I'm still using those triceps. Awesome. Can't forget, especially after making that huge bet with myself, go with our next circles. All the way to the left once, all the way to the right once again. Looking at my posture, you can see this is all coming from the back of my neck is where I'm doing all that rotating. Taking the time to exaggerate each position of that circle. Excellent. 10-second break. Start right your right shoulder, right hand on the back of the head. Just gently tilting forward. It's not too much. And then with my left arm, I'm actively pushing my shoulder down just to create that stretch. The traps. Oh, we were a little late on that one. It's okay. All right, and then we'll look straight up, and we'll take a little bit more time on this one. Again, it's just all coming from the chin. And straight down. And enough time to get into our dip position. Legs straight out. Elbows pointed behind. I have a slight bend in my knees. And that's just so that my hamstrings don't get lit up on this. I tend to get a little bit of a pain in the back of my knee. But if you want that sort of extra hamstring push, you can certainly go straight leg. 10 more seconds. Again, squeeze that beach ball behind you. Don't lose that position. Don't allow those elbows to flare out. And time. Excellent. Okay, so we'll grab some water. Let's switch all that up. Group 2. Have our leg swings here. I'm going to take a second to turn that around. Actually, I'm going to turn that this way. Maybe that way. Then you can see me. Okay. We got to figure it out. I'm going to take a drink, and then we'll get going. you ever need to take a drink during the workout, you go right ahead. You know, preferably during the 10 seconds, but if it can't wait or you need that extra break, no foul in taking that water break in the middle. All right, so with the leg swings, I'm just going to hold on to my chair, and it's just forward and back. It's almost like a pendulum from the hips. Halfway through, we'll switch sides. I try to stay upright the whole time, and I'll try to give you a view from the front here. Again, just forward and back. Quad stretch, you know, everyone's done this stretch. We're grabbing the top of the foot, bringing the heel to the butt. And then our sumo squats, feet in that exaggerated wide position, toes pointed out, creating some space to sit. My chest stays up and lifted, and my spine stays in the same angle as my shin. Without further ado, we will get going in 3, 2, and 1. Round 1. If you need to lean forward a little bit because your chair is a little bit low and you're a little bit tall, you can certainly do that. Just try to hinge from the hips halfway through. We'll switch sides. Right, we try to hinge from the hips, and I'm going to show you guys on this side here from the front. I'm not wobbling too much to the side. I'm really allowing myself to allow my hips to do the work. Enough time. If you need the chair for balance, you go right ahead. It's always nice to try to work on that balance. So maybe if you need the chair a lot, you start with the chair, but maybe you go to, you know, hovering the hand above, grabbing it when you need to. A little early on that. I don't have the greatest balance. We'll switch sides. I'll show you guys this angle. Not always easy remembering where the camera is. And just notice how my knees are in line here, right? All right, perfect. Enough time to get into those sumo squats. So my knee's not super far forward, super far back on that. I apologize, I blend in with these walls. Quarantine hasn't allowed any of us much time to tan. That's okay. I've never been a tan person anyway, so everybody just looks like me now. Keep that chest up. If I want to hold a weight, I would hold it in that goblet position. And you don't always need to use a weight to add resistance, right? You can use some cans of soup, sack of potatoes, your dog if we'll stand still. That's round 1. We'll get into those leg swings again. I'm going to start facing you guys this way just so you can see. Again, everything stays in line here. And the motion's coming from my hips. I try not to allow my ankle to turn too far out. Some people will, you'll see them, you know, start to go like this. And that's fine. That opens up when we're switching sides. But I really want to focus on opening up those hip flexors, which is a real forward and back motion. All right. Oh, I am way far behind on those. Keep going. I think I'm way far behind on those. No, I wasn't. That's okay. We're going to our quad stretch. And just to stay on time with these, we're not going to give ourselves too much break. We'll switch sides. Not that we have too much break ever. Got to forgive me on that one, but these things happen. Gotta forgive myself too. Alright, sumo squats. Everything will be a-okay. We're still good with our round counter. Again, notice my feet. My toes are pointed out. You won't get as deep as you normally get with a regular squat. I'm still using my whole foot, you know, pushing in from the heels. I won't get as deep, but Man, do I feel it in my hamstrings more? Do I feel it in my abductors more? Or my adductors, rather? Leg swings. We'll get it right this time. The first set's the easiest one, so. Oh, I always loved this this exercise before I do squats, and sometimes you'll see people do them laterally too. And again, that's a perfectly good exercise. All right, we'll wait to go into our quad stretch. But I really find that one opens up the hip. I'm grabbing the top of my foot. So I don't have my band with me, but you can always do this lying from the ground with your band. Switch sides. With your band around your foot. And if you want to know how to do that one, you can always just send me a message and I'd be happy to go through it with you or take a picture of it for you. All right. And then our sumo squats to finish. Yeah, we're going right into it because why not? We're going to take an extra 10 seconds here of sumo squats and making it a little bit more challenging on everyone this week. Well, I started a little bit earlier. Keep that chest up. Use that whole foot, right? Some people, the toes come up in their squat. Keep your toes down on the ground. Use the whole foot to squat. Keep breathing. Almost there. And time. Excellent. Go ahead and grab some water. We're on group 3. We have our scorpion child's pose and our bird dog crunch. So we're pretty much on the ground for the entirety of this when we're on our mat. So the scorpion, I'll show you from this side here. It's the one where we're lying on our stomach in that T pose. And then the goal is to bring our right foot to our left side and vice versa. And I need to create some space for me so I'm not hitting the couch there. Always make sure that your exercise space is clear and safe to work in. Just like so. Child's pose. Sitting back. Reaching forward. And then our bird dog crunch. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Knee to elbow. Extend again. Switch sides. Extend. Touch. Extend. Switch sides. All right? So we'll get going in 3, 2, and 1. And if you don't have full range of motion on this, just do what you can do comfortably. You know, I know some people that can go all the way up to their hip on this one. This is a great exercise too. If you vacuumed yesterday, you can inspect the floor. All right, we're up. Enough time to get into that child's pose, right? If you want to grab some water, go ahead. But we're going to go ahead and push our hips back, reach forward. You know, you could try walking a little bit forward. I sort of found my max range of motion on this. Head down. 15 more seconds. All right, bird dog crunch. And it's up, we're tabletop position, opposite arm, opposite leg. We're not starting yet. I'm just going to go ahead and show you from the front. I don't turn or wobble. I keep my core strong and stable throughout this movement. Take my time, nice deliberate movements. And just like that, we're done. Enough time to, yeah, just get on the ground, go on scorpion, but not forget that round timer. And I always find the second round on this exercise is much more forgiving than the first. You know, your body's had time to loosen up. This exercise is extremely interesting in the way that it makes us rotate. We typically don't rotate this way throughout our day. That doesn't mean it's not important. All right, we go into our child's pose. I'll show you from the front here this time. So, if you have a difficult time getting on the ground, I should have shown some regressions for the scorpion. You can always do this child's pose from a chair, right? I can do that, or I can sit on the chair, and I can try to just bring my hands between my heels, just like so, stretching out the lower back. Bird dog crunch, I'll show you standing as well. Again, you can just go opposite arm, opposite leg. I'm using my chair, I'm standing on that incline. Stand a little further back. And out. Definitely an exercise in balance, but it's still core strength. You have a difficult time getting on the ground. You can always regress it to the bird dog as well. I'll always say it, regression doesn't mean easier. It just means it meets you at your ability to where you can do the exercise at. All right, and right into our scorpion again. Hopefully that's not blocking me. The scorpion's just like so. Or again, if you have trouble getting on the ground, we can do those standing rotations. A little bit late to show you this, so I apologize. But we can just go into those standing rotations instead. There's always modifications, so everybody can join, right? Child's pose. Final time. Don't ever get discouraged if you can't do a move, if you're not there yet. If you keep practicing, doing the appropriate regressions, you'll be there in no time. All right. I know I've worked with many people who thought, you know, they would never be able to do a squat or a lunge or a push-up. You know, some of those people worked their way up to be able to do like a pull-up, one of I think the hardest exercises. Staying strong with our bird dog crunch. Almost there. And we're on to our last group of exercise. This isn't so bad. Excellent. Great. Go ahead, grab some water while I set this up. So arm circles. As the name suggests, our arms are going to be straight out in the T. Small circles, gradually getting larger to the halfway mark. And then we're going to go backwards, going from big to small. Triceps stretch, I think everybody knows, arm overhead, just like so. And then Spider-Man push-ups. There's a few ways to do these. I'm going to be doing them in the way I think is most comfortable for me, and that's push up, and then at my top, I'm going to go knee to elbow. Knee to elbow, but you could always go knee to elbow at the same time. If you want to regress, what I suggest is modified push-up into that high plank mountain climber, or you can always do your push-ups from an incline, right? Push up and then do your mountain climber up to the side. All right, so we'll get going with our arm circles in 3, 2, and 1. Gradually getting bigger till the 15-second mark. Don't go too big too quickly. We'll have no room to go. All right, and then we go backwards. Gradually getting smaller. And I find, like, when I do it that way, you know, your arms have weight. They actually get a little tired. Oh, and I didn't fix my rounds. We're going to our tricep stretch halfway through. We'll switch. Arm overhead. We're back on that left elbow right now. And I keep that in line. From the back side, I just try to get my hand in the middle of the back. And there's that halfway mark, so we'll switch. Everything's in line with my ear, and it's just going down the middle of the back. Going to our push-ups in 10. At whatever ability level that you're at. Just make sure you have that nice straight line from shoulder to ankle. If you ever need to modify, you take your time, you modify. Almost there. Excellent. All right. And that, grab some water. Small forward arm circles. Gradually getting larger. And if you find, and then we're going to go backward, if you find that maybe your shoulders are getting tired on this, you can always shorten your lever and go from the elbow, right? Or you can just go in with those shoulder rolls. We have our tricep stretch in 10. You know, we always want to try to push ourselves, but just push yourselves to the limits where you're comfortable. And I always prefer in a class like this, where we only have 30 minutes, I prefer that you're moving the whole time, you know, doing something the whole time. If we were doing some more like strength training, where I'm trying to get you to increase your maximum weight, maybe I'd give you a little bit more rest. But on this, just try to keep moving the whole time. And that's why if like you ever need to drop to a regression, you can do a few regression ones. Then you can pop back in to the ones that you're trying to work on. So if I need that little bit of break, I could, you know, do modified, and I have 10 seconds, so maybe I push myself a little bit more. One more here. There we go. All right, we're moving into our final round. As I was saying, if the shoulders are tired, you can always do your arm circles, you know, from just the shoulders or the elbows, going forward with small circles, gradually going forward, gradually going bigger, always going forward here. and then backwards. Gradually getting smaller. Good. Tricep stretch in 10. We're on our last round here. Going a little over time. Won't be too overtime today, about 2-3 minutes. Switch. All right. Push-ups. Again, if you want to try from the incline, I'll show a few from the incline again, just for those doing them. Incline push-ups, still straight line. That one wasn't the best. Let me just fix that there. Knee to the outside. Knee to the outside, right? I'm going to finish on the ground. Push myself a little bit. 20 more seconds. I'm struggling. I want to finish strong here. So I go into my modified. Oh, and we're done, just like that. All right, so we'll go into our half kneel hip flexor stretch. And while we're doing this, I'm doing my handcuff stretch. So I'm grabbing my wrist behind my back and my shoulders back and down. We'll switch sides. Push my hips forward. That nice straight line. Shoulders are back and down, pushing out my chest. We'll go with our glute stretch here. So I'm going to cross my left leg over my right. Pulling my knee towards my chest. Good work, everyone. Sorry, that timer's still running. And we'll switch sides. Those Spider-Man push-ups at the end make that workout feel a lot harder than it actually is. You know, a really great mobility exercise, and it helps build that neuromuscular connection that we all want. We'll just do cat to cow, and that will be it for today. Chin, rounded spine, chin at neutral, flat spine. Alternating between those two. Yeah, that neuromuscular connection is that mind-muscle connection. Super, super important. I would say more important than actually building the muscle. I always think it's more important to, you know, map the wiring. All right. I hope you all enjoyed that class. Again, I'll be teaching tomorrow afternoon if you want to join me for a HIIT class. And then Thursday we'll be doing our other HIIT class that's all body weight. The one tomorrow we'll be using some more equipment. But thank you everyone for joining me. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you Thursday. And if I don't see you Thursday, I'll see you next week. Have a good day, everyone.